Right, this is Jataro, the 3-year-old untouched Andalusian, and he's going to be learning the same lesson as you just saw Joker learning, which is hips to the fence for mounting. Jataro is a quieter disposition horse, and so he actually learns it much more quickly than Joker did, probably in about, well, less than half the time, really. I'm cueing him. I'm using exactly the same cue as I did for Joker, which is simply tapping him on the hip. I need to raise his emotional level a little more than Joker's, so I'm probably tapping him just a little bit faster than I was with Joker. And there you can see quite quickly he came up with the first sort of option of moving his hips to the left. He did sort of pull on me a bit. He thought he might go through me at the front there. He thought about going backwards a little bit, but he very quickly moved that left foot left, and that gave me the opportunity to release the pressure and praise him. He's thinking about it, he's thinking about it. And I've got to keep cueing him right there. Now he didn't step to the left at all, he stepped backwards and a little bit to the left with that left foot, but that's good enough. It did move in the right direction. The horse doesn't always know exactly what it's done right when it gets the release, but it will usually try and work that out and try and repeat what it did. There. And there, you see how quickly he's now coming along. Now that he's got the initial idea, he actually starts taking 2 and 3 steps towards me rather than just the one. That's really good. So I'm going to take him back again and line him up again on the fence so that he can't move his hips to the right to make it a bit easier for him. And that's terrific. Now you can see I'm taking his shoulder with me. So I'm walking backwards and moving his shoulder and then cueing his hindquarter to come. So even after less than 2.5 minutes, the horse already has an idea of doing side pass on the ground. Now, that's terrific. If you want to teach side pass, that's the best and easiest way to do it. But also just there for Jataro, I wasn't that interested in teaching side pass. What I really wanted to do was getting him thinking a bit more forward. I just had the feeling he was feeling a little bit locked in there with me standing sort of in front of him, and he did want to run through me first. So by moving his shoulder, it gave the horse just a bit more feeling of space and the feeling of going forward. And you can see he's a little more relaxed now already, just from that simple movement of moving his shoulder forward, giving him more space. You can see now he's actually moving his hindquarter much further around so that he's almost coming parallel to the fence, facing in the other direction, which is exactly what I want him to do. And that was fabulous. Every time he gets there, I let him rest and I sack him out. And this horse hasn't seen me above him yet. So I take that slowly. Everything I do, I break down into more simple steps if I can. So right here, I'm just stepping up a little bit on the fence to start with. And then as I go on, I'll step up higher. You see Harry's on the other side of the fence there. He's a paint stallion of mine, and he's helping me train by being a bit of a distraction. And you know, I like those distractions when you're training. It's really good to have a distraction because it just shows how well you're getting on and whether you're holding the horse's attention or not. If Jataro was talking to Harry, then I would have a problem. This little lesson's a really good example of the emotional level of the horse and getting it right. You can end in a wreck pretty quickly with a simple little lesson like this if you put too much pressure on the horse and therefore raise the emotional level too high. Or you can pretty easily send the horse to sleep too, and it won't move anything at all if you don't motivate it enough to change something. As I said in the previous video, these same 4 principles apply to everything I teach the horse. So if we were to take this same example and use it, say, for trailer loading, or teaching the horse to load on the trailer, in that situation, I only look at the left front foot. I figure if I can get the left front foot to the front of the trailer, then the rest of the horse will follow. Here's a client. This morning she learned how to move her horse's hips to the fence, and this is after lunch. She's come out and she's quite pleased about this, which is understandable. And so here she's just demonstrating it for me. She's not using the whip anymore, doesn't need the whip, her fingers will do. Bit of a cluck of the fingers and around red goes. Good boy, and a nice position for her to mount. This horse is 12 or 14 years old, I can't remember, one or the other.
Well done.